So our next session is a panel with three guests. Now we have three. And let me call to the stage Evan Caplan. He's on the board of AGTA and ICA. He's an old-timer in our industry. He has been... Why are you laughing? Old-timer in the good way. I'm not in English. I'm not a native of the language, so maybe old-timer is not good, is it? Maybe it's not. And Evan, he has been in the industry with us for so many years. And maybe if you know a few gem collections privately or in museums, those special stones were handled by Evan. Now he spends most of his time in Africa, sourcing and mining, and being concerned about the communities that in the areas where he's mining. So thank you very much, Evan. Take your seat. And Miriam, Kamau, also, let me help you up with your stairs. Mind the step, darling? It's okay. Miriam, she's owner of Mimo Gem Trader. She's from Kenya, and she owns a Tseverite mine. And she managed to thrive her business in a male-dominated environment, and that is something really special. But if you take a time to meet her in person, you can feel her charisma. So she's a very charismatic woman, and she will share with us also her vision on her experience on the field in Kenya. So thank you very much. And last but not least, because he will become the next president, so I have to treat him like Mr. Damien Cody. I took his job as an MC, so I should... do you want some help? Okay. Damien, I know Damien for many years, and I'm passionate about gemstones, and every time I had something to learn about opals, Damien and his brother Andrew, they always had time to, okay, what do you want to learn? And they teach me so much. He's very knowledgeable about opals. He's passionate about opals, and especially passionate about this industry, and has been chairman of that wonderful project, Gems Keep Giving, that we all know about. So ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful panel today, and I will give the floor to you, or I don't know which is the first. Okay. Enjoy the next half an hour, 45 minutes. I think it's 45. Thank you very much.
Looks like a few of our colleagues had late nights last night by the size of the audience in the room. So it's good to see that our wonderful coloured gemstone industry is having lots of fun, and may it continue. Let's see if we can get this working. Here we go. Gems Keep Giving. This is a project that ICA nurtured, I guess, probably 3 or 4 years ago, so it's quite a young part of ICA. And we felt that whilst there was a lot of noise about being responsible and sustainable and ethical, we wanted to make sure that ICA was actually making a difference in the lives of many artisanal mining communities and cutting communities around the world. So the background is that, as has been discussed here today, 80% of coloured gemstones are mined by artisanal workers. 90% of coloured gemstones are mined in emerging and developing countries. 10 to 15 million people are involved in artisanal mining and cutting. That's a huge number. Many of these people are not represented by membership of an association or an organisation. But I'm here to tell you that ICA will continue to look after their interests as best we can. And I think Gaetano's message this morning reminded us of the need for our industry to look after these very important people who need our help. So we won't forget them. They may not be members of our association, but our thoughts, our hearts, our minds are with them constantly. So it's very good and it's very admirable of the big miners, the big companies, the big retailers to promote transparency throughout the supply chain. It's an admirable thing and we support it wholeheartedly. But as Gaetano said, so much of our industry is simply incapable of achieving these lofty ideals. So let's keep that in the back of our mind. Gems Keep Giving was also a way that we could demonstrate that we are giving back to these important communities in a small way because funds are limited, resources are limited. But today we're going to give you an insight into the most beautiful story I've have been involved with. It's something that I didn't believe we could do, but with the help of a couple of wonderful members here, we were able to pull it off. So the Gems Keep Giving core objective is to support artisanal miners, cutters, and their families in need, and to help them prosper and grow in a safe, sustainable, and inclusive environment. We've aligned our objectives with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, well, some of those goals. The ones we've highlighted are good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, responsible consumption and production, and life on the land. And when you see the results of the Kamtonga project, we were able to tick off 4 of those sustainable goals with our very first project. So who can help? Companies can align themselves to Gems Keep Giving. Retailers can develop programs in store that maybe for a period of time, a proportion of proceeds from sales will go to a very worthy project at Gems Keep Giving. Individuals can of course donate. Industry associations can align themselves with Gems Keep Giving. Philanthropic organisations around the world will be approached so that they will have an idea of what Gems Keep Giving can and has achieved. We've recently undertaken the steps necessary to achieve 5013C. I think it is, Doug, 5013C, that's the correct numbers. And in essence, that allows Gems Keep Giving to be a fully tax-deductible charitable institution in the United States of America. So organisations in America can get a fully deductible tax deduction for anything they donate to Gems Keep Giving. So the methods they can use, as I said before, a percentage of sales, in-store retail promotions, and we can help them with branding of Gems Keep Giving. An interesting one, and some of our members have already done this, donations in lieu of birthday gifts. I like to get presents, but I'd be very happy for my next birthday if anybody was wanting to give me something that it went to Gems Keep Giving. Donations in lieu of flowers at bereavements, at events. Bequeaths, so we could think about what happens after we leave this beautiful planet. Maybe something could be set aside for Gems Keep Giving. And as I said before, 501c3 status, so we have tax deductibility. And what will happen quite a bit with Gems Keep Giving is that we will partner on various projects around the world, like maybe the Butterfly Project in Colombia. And of course, we have a dedicated website, gemskeepgiving.org, and you can find out ways that you can help. One of the big things that we need help with at Gems Keep Giving is people that can help on the ground administer projects. And you'll be seeing very shortly the incredible work that these two individuals have done on the ground in Kamtonga, Kenya. So without further ado from me, I'd like to introduce Evan and Miriam. These two guys, without their involvement, their time, their effort, their vision, we would not have been able to achieve this incredible event in Kamtonga. And I hope that members of ICA and members of the GEM community, through this vision, will just see what an incredible difference something like Gems Keep Giving can make in the lives of a community. Life-changing, absolutely life-changing. Miriam was on the ground when the first drill truck drove into this dusty region in Kamtonga, sending me live video streams of this community of 3,000 people in front of this truck, producing clouds of dust behind it, moving slowly towards the drill site. The community was dancing and screaming with excitement, singing beautiful songs. They knew that something was about to happen that was very big. And so from that moment on, we were able to watch as this project bounced into life. So I don't know who's coming up next. Both of you? Great. So please welcome Miriam and Evan.
They showed me a customized mock-up pot, weighing it,
Okay.
and then they put like a filter right here.
Well, first of all, thank you for coming. We appreciate everybody being here. Where to start? When Gems Keep Giving came about, they were asked for project submissions, and it was narrowed down to two at the end of the day. So at one of our board meetings, I stood up with my big fat American mouth and screamed and yelled and got Kamtonga to be the first project. Kamtonga is the closest village to one of our mines in Kenya, and it has 3,000 residents, 650 of them are school children. And this village had no water at all. Every day or two, the women and children would walk between 5 and 10 kilometers each way, carrying these big yellow jugs to bring water home to cook, clean, and basically survive. It was really a horrible, horrible situation, and thankfully we were able to remedy this. After we got the okay, Miriam was on the ground there, and we put together a plan and a budget. And the whole first phase of the project took exactly 2 weeks without one penny going into anybody's pocket, no corruption, nothing. It was just amazing. And to see the expression on the people's faces when the first water came out of the ground was like unbelievable. I wanted to cry. It was outrageous, and she just did such an amazing, amazing job on the ground. With the help of some local residents, we closed down our mine and had our workers come and help out. And Miriam's just amazing. She did an incredible job. So that's it for me. I'll give it to Miriam for now.
Thank you very much, Evan. And I want to thank God for giving us another chance to stand here in front of our friends, our Gemstone dealers, and ICA family. this project could not have been what it is today if it was not of the ICA family. I myself am a project of this home, the ICA. So I want to thank each one of you, the directors, the president, the vice president, the friends of ICA. I see, for me being the project and for me being a product of ICA, when I see somebody like Paulo, my mentors, I see how ICA has mentored me and has taught me how to give back to the community. And more so, I want to thank God for my husband, Evan Caplan, today, for when this task was given to us, he left his luxurious life of selling the top gemstones in the world. And this is the time when we had COVID. He came and stayed with us in the bush. May the Lord bless you. So allow me to introduce you my expression on a video about the Kamtonga project. Give me the video, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Miriam Mimo Kamau. I'm the founder and director of Mimo Gem Traders and Mimo Mining. I'm also a board member of ICA, International Color Gemstone Association, and I feel very privileged and very honored to welcoming the ICA to come and do this water project in Kamtonga Primary School. You are so very welcome. Karibuni sana.
For a long time, Kamtonga area in Mwatate has stood out to be one of the most driest areas in Taita Taveta, Kenya. Despite of these harsh climatic conditions, the area is one of the richest gemstone mining sites, being the mother of the most precious gemstones, including tsavorite, rubies, sapphires, tourmalines, spinels,
and many more other precious gemstones.
This area also harbors a population of about 5,000 people, with a major challenge of access to clean water among the small-scale miners living in this area.
The arrival of Mimo Gem Mining Traders, together with the ICA and Gems Keep Giving, sorted a permanent solution to the scarcity of water in this area, and especially here at Kamtonga Primary, where the scarcity of rain for over a year now has had its own impacts. No water, something that has affected education here.
Mimo consults with his team of employees and the work kickstarts. A 4-day drilling venture starts at midday in hopes of finding clean water. All hopes by over 3,000 locals lie in the hands of this selfless and brave woman. On Friday, exactly 3:45 p.m. Kenyan time, while the lazy sun drains its last energy on the bare ground, the team of experts hit the water at 180 feet, going further of 220. The all here is loud, a rebellious relief, a sign of victory. Wait, lest we forget, Mimo did her last water dance. A sign of victory. Water is life.
ICA is the International Colored Gemstone Association, whose members make up some of the leading miners, cutters, wholesalers, and retail jewelers from around the world. In the summer of 2021, a gentleman by the name of Damien Cody came up with the brilliant idea to form a charitable arm of the ICA. The idea behind this was to help support the mining communities around the world. These are the communities that enable us to create and do our jobs. They supply us with the beauty that we sell to people around the world. About 4 months later, we put out a call for submissions, and we received about 20 to 25 project submissions. We narrowed it down to Kamtonga, which is a rural village in the bush in Kenya. The problem with Kamtonga, and the reason Gems Keep Giving decided to help, is the 3,000 residents, including the 650 school kids, have no water at all. Every day or two, the women and children would walk between 5 and 10 kilometers each way, carrying jugs of water that we would take out of a lake where the elephants and the various animals of the region would bathe and go to the bathroom, whatever, carry this water back home and use this for cooking, eating, or drinking, washing. It was just so sad to see this. Phase 1 was to drill the borehole, install the pump, and a solar system to run the pump. Now we're in the middle of phase 2, where we're building a filtration plant, so the water that comes out of the ground is 100% clean and up to World Health Organization standards. If it's not good enough for us to drink, it's not good enough for them to drink. We want it to be perfect. Phase 3, we will run a line from the filtration plant to the center of the village and install a kiosk where everybody can come and get water.
As we promised, I'm here in Kamtonga Primary School, and this is the whole system of the filtering the water. As you can see over here, we have the rinser and the control panel. It is working, it is all done and set. And the main machine for filtering the water is already here. And as you can see, it's ready, it's happening, it's working all good. We have our storage tank, and we have our filling station right there, and we have a table for packaging. So you can see the whole project, the project which was remaining for filtration is all done. Thank you so much, James Keep Giving, for this work. Very well done.
With the filtration of the water here, locals can now manage to access clean water for their domestic use and also self-sustainability through food production.
Thanks to Mimo Gem Mining Traders with ICA Gems Keep Giving for converting this area to a new Eden.
Fourth phase of this operation is going to teach them about agriculture, building several greenhouses, because as you can see, it's totally dry around here. But now with water, they'll be able to grow, with the knowledge that we give them, they'll be able to grow fruits, vegetables, food for the village, food for the community. For us to continue this great work, we need your help. We ask for donations. Any amount will help, whether it's small or large, in between. It all adds up at the end of the year, and it will enable us to continue doing this great work for mining communities around the world.
With such a great transformation in a short period of time, the school principal of Kamtonga Primary had this to say.
You can see now our land is now fertile and very productive. Initially the land used to be very dry. Nothing could be able to grow because we had no water. Because of water now the land is productive, and we have vegetables which we are able to feed the learners. And because of the water, we are also planning to expand the program. We have a bigger farm so that we can be able to grow enough food for the learners, all of them. And I want to appreciate more Mimo for the effort she has done for us, and may God bless her so much.
Thank you, James. Keep giving. As you can see, I am in the garden. The reason I came here is to witness this well-done job. Now we have the bananas, we have the tomatoes, we have all the vegetables, and we have everything. No child, as we promised, is going to go home hungry. We are growing our own food. Thank you, James. Keep giving.
No.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ICA. As those children have said, today they are not sleeping. They are trying to watch you people because we said it is not about us. It's about the ICA. And as you all know, Africa, Mama Africa, is in need of you to bring back to her. She has been so good, giving her own produce. And us, the daughters and the sons of Africa, we supply every good, beautiful stone which we love and enjoy to you. So they are asking. They are not asking for much, but they are asking if you could come and have such a congress in Mama Africa's soil. We really appreciate. Thank you very much.
You can see what can be achieved. ICA has done this, obviously, through the incredible efforts of these two individuals, but through wonderful donations from ICA members and organisations, and Sanpal, who had a significant birthday. I won't say how old you were, Sanpal, but he donated a large amount of money from the birthday gifts for his birthday. So thank you, Sanpal. But look, there are so many ways we can get Gems Keep Giving, helping other communities around the world. Kamtonga was the first, and what a beautiful one. No administration fees. If this project was to be done by an NGO or a World Health Organization or a United Nations, it would be costing absolute millions of dollars, and we'd still be waiting. These two guys pulled this off within the space of about 3 months. Just incredible. We pushed the button with the first drill hole in December of 2021, right? And by February, a community of 3,000 people were drinking beautiful, clean, fresh water for the first time in their lives. Just incredible. For me, watching it all happen on a daily basis, it was very moving. I'd be sitting at home and there'd be tears streaming down my face with the pride of what ICA was able to achieve. So this is the first. We're looking actively now at our next project, and Kamtonga won't be forgotten, of course, because we're going to make sure that things are maintained beautifully. What's happening there now, as you probably saw, Miriam has arranged for incredible agriculture projects. So not only are they drinking fresh, clean water, we now have fresh food, vegetables being grown. This wasn't possible before. There was no agriculture, there was no water, there was no way of growing anything. So they're learning now to grow fresh food, which is obviously going to improve their health dramatically. There'll be other agricultural projects with farming of animals. So this thing will just continue to grow. There'll be water being piped into the township so they don't have to carry it. It's just an incredible project. So let's look for other opportunities around the world where we have artisanal mining communities needing ICA support. And every ICA member in this room and every member of the Gemstone community should feel immensely proud of what we've achieved with our very first project. If you've got any questions about the project and what was achieved or what we might be doing for the future, please. Yeah, Jeff. Jeff?
Great, thank you. Yeah, okay. For Jeff Post. So first, just congratulations. I've been hearing about it, but to see this all together was absolutely astounding. The question from a practical side is what was sort of an estimate of the total cost of doing something like this, and then the cost of the sustainability. I mean, I've seen projects that start great and then they sort of wind down, and pretty soon it's, you know, a lot of this good goes away because it's been forgotten. So where does the money come from that provides the long-term sustainability? But then again, back to the first question, ballpark idea of just to do something like this, what is the cost?
Well, as we said earlier, Jeffrey, this was done with zero administration costs. So, you know, all of Mimo and Evan's time and effort that was there, and the ICA office in helping to administer and process all of this was eliminated, and they can be sometimes the most significant of costs. So this project was around 80 to 90,000 US dollars. Just incredible. We've got a purification plant there as well. So, and all of the sourcing of suppliers, materials, tradesmen, Mimo did, you know, in Kenya. And once again, you know, it meant that there was, we had very good checks and balances all along the way, and we were able to do it in record time. So, look, you know, some projects are going to cost more depending on what they are. This one obviously was about health, about supplying water, about freedom for women who were largely responsible for carting water to their families and getting their children to school. The children couldn't go to school unless they brought water, and it was very heavy, and they have to go to these contaminated water holes. So children were getting sick and not going to school, or the effort of getting water with their child to the school was too difficult. So now we have education as well. So these children are now rocking up to school every day with clean, fresh water, clean clothes, eating healthy food, and their quality of education is improving already. So there are so many spin-offs from this. And the other thing is that the community of Kamtonga is growing, as I understand, because people from around the district who may not be as lucky, don't have water supplies, can now see that their kids can have a quality education and a community that will be sustainable and healthy. So let's look for other opportunities. We're looking at one in Brazil at the moment, which involves health and safety for mining workers. So, you know, that could be one of our next projects, but there are so many opportunities.
To add on that question, I would say something else we did. The first thing we thought about is to allow the community to own the project. So they got so much involved from day one. the systems, the reason we chose the school is so that we can be able to take control and for the security purposes, and because of the places where that area is, it's a wild animals territory. So we engaged the community and we engaged also the wildlife, which it is their territory. So sometimes they will do, the kids and the students and the community will be watching the project when they are digging, and then at night the wild animals, which is the elephant, will come and guard the whole project.
Damien, the second question the gentleman raised was the sustainability of this project. I know how are we going to address that, because after 1 or 2 years, if the wells are not functioning properly or anything filled up, how are we going to clean up? So that's important when we initiate something. How are you going to sustain this, or have local partners or local dealers coming into the project? So we can monitor, ICA can monitor that and continue this good work and build to the next level.
Thank you, Altaf. Yeah, look, the beauty is with ICA being involved in these projects, we have our own members on the ground in these communities. You know, we're lucky to have Mimo there keeping a watching eye over it. And she's now, you're almost like the mayoress of Kamtonga, right? You're called Mama Mimo, or, yeah, Mama Mimo. She is like some kind of demigod in Kamtonga now for being able to do this. It's a miracle for these people, an absolute miracle. For their entire lives and for the generations before them, there was no fresh water. Okay. Yes, ICA has a responsibility to ensure that we try and keep these projects sustainable and ongoing. So there will come a time where there might be some maintenance issues, and I'm sure Mimo will be putting that forward to Gems Keep Giving, and we'll do what we can. But we have limited resources. This first project cleaned us out, so we need to build again so that we can continue to do these wonderful projects and utilise the ICA members that we have in the various countries around the world. That's what makes the difference between what we can do with Gems Keep Giving and maybe what other organisations might struggle to do. That we have people there to make sure these projects are managed from start to finish, and the ongoing maintenance that might be required.
Knowing that the project would need to be maintained, and down the line, things happen, things might break, whatever need to be fixed, replaced. We set up a program for them to bottle some of the water and to sell it to surrounding communities, and that will fund the maintenance for years and years and years. We looked at other projects in the region, and people would come in and they'd build a water tank or a pump or whatever. It would break, it would fall apart, and it's just sitting there rusting or falling on the ground. So by doing this, I think we did a smart thing, and it's going to save us a lot of money in the long run.
And to add on that, about the agriculture program, which is our extension, I think everybody else watched what was happening in Africa. We had a very bad drought. And I remember the principal of the school keeping some kids in the school classroom because they could not afford to go home and starve at home. So this water, the first produce took like 1 week. So they were eating those leaves which the water has been irrigating to grow those things. So we have that urge of expanding, maybe to having a boarding school or something like that. Through the water, which now we are doing the agriculture, we have gotten some interest with other people to come and help us do irrigation and have a smart farming around that. The school, Kamtonga, has about 42 acres just lying around there. So you can imagine how this project can expand. Today, we are supplying even to the neighboring communities. These kids used to stay hungry, going to the neighbors' places to get food, are now giving the neighbors something to eat because they had to depend with food coming from Nairobi. And this is such a great honor and privilege for us to serve in ICA and to serve God's people in Kamtonga area.
Another thing that's happened with the supply of this water is the Mama Mimo was encouraging the students to bathe every day and clean themselves. So you've been giving instructions on how to clean yourself and keep yourself nice and fresh daily. So the kids are all shiny and sparkly now going to school, thanks to Mama Mimo.
This is very interesting. I like, okay. So with the help of the water, we are helping the kids how to groom, to keep clean. And you don't just clean a child and then she has tattered clothes. So if you watch the video, we branded ourselves. We clothed them with the ICA t-shirts, which fortunately or unfortunately have become a school uniform. So it's so when you come to Kenya visiting the mines, because everybody who visits the mine, and especially when you're going to do the rubies and the savarite, you have to go through Kamtonga Primary School. Please stop over. So when you see kids running with ICA, yes, they are ICA members now.
And the other thing that they got with their ICA T-shirt, which is now their school uniform, is some shoes. What do you call it? The like Crocs. So that helps them, get around in the mud and get the water and what have you. But they were obviously not wearing shoes to school, so now they've got shoes and a school uniform. They're all sparkly clean. They're all happy. They're all healthy, and we have a community which is largely, I think it's 90% of the community is involved in gem mining. So all of a sudden there's a whole new lease of life and support for this community. Doug?
From the sublime to the ridiculous, I'd like to talk a little bit about the 501c3. For those of you who are from the U.S. and understand the tax laws there, it is infinitely more easy for us to raise funds as a C3 because anything that people contribute to us as a charitable organization that we are now is fully tax deductible. And I mean fully now. So if you are struggling in your seat and you have your checkbook or your credit card and you're interested in doing something, you can certainly contact us. For those of you who do not live in the United States, there are contractual and agreements between countries where contributions through a 501c3 in the United States will also be deductible in your country. I'm not a tax person for the UK, but if you look into it, it can certainly be helpful. If you do look into it, I'd appreciate it if you'd get a hold of me so that I can communicate that to our other members. But I would like to say that I think we can raise a lot of money for Gems Keep Giving. But if we raised $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, we could not have spent that money and been successful. What made that successful is those two people right up there. And it's not, it is like Dr. Post says, what's going to happen moving forward? And Mimo, Evan, what you've done with the growing of the vegetables, with the bottling of the water, distribution and things, you're making it sustainable, all right? it's part of your community, Mimo. We don't want to do things where we come in, we put up a building, and we've all done this. We've built facilities, we've built buildings, and 3 years later, they're gone. So the model that you guys have put together is priceless. I don't care how much money you had, we couldn't do that without you. So while I'm going to ask for people to contribute generously to these projects, what we need is we need human capital. We need human resources. We need people who are ready to be engaged in their communities just the way Mimo and Evan were. That's what we truly, truly need. Thank you, guys. It's beautiful.
Thank you, ICA. This is really incredible what Mimo and Evan has done. As a design school, I would like to contribute from my side that World Academy of Design would be happy to support in whatever way you need to develop those kids in designing or gemology courses or diamond courses. We would love to travel and do the training if we have to do that, and develop some trainees within those people so that school can sustain on its own. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Evan and Mimo. And I hope we all feel a little more uplifted about our wonderful community at ICA and about the potential of the coloured gemstone industry to make a difference in people's lives. Let's continue it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed, Damien, Mimo, Evan. It was inspiring, and I think this is the example that things can be done, but people are needed. Human capital, as was just said, sometimes is more important than the actual money. We need people that are driven to do this and to go there and to make sure it happens consistently and continuously. So thank you very much. Very inspiring indeed. Thank you.